It's Tuesday night at the QMJHL. You know what it means. It means a YouTube Live, and our guest tonight is none other than the goaltender for the Baie-Comeau Drakkar, Luca Beckman. Luca, thank you for doing this with us tonight.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, it will be a pleasure to talk with you tonight. We had the chance to chat a little bit at the prospect presentation at the Bell Center a couple weeks ago, and I had the chance to know you a little bit more. And you're a charming guy, so I'll be more than happy to chat a little bit more with you tonight. We'll talk a lot about hockey. We'll talk about your personal life also. If you guys are watching live and you have questions for Luca Beckman, be more than happy to put it in the comments, and I'll be also more than happy to refer it to our favorite goaltender tonight. So Luca, we won't last a lot of time. I'm wondering, how do you evaluate the Baie-Comeau Drakkar season so far?
I think our record isn't very representative of our strength. I think we're a team that can surprise a lot of good teams in the playoffs, and the only weakness I think we have is that we're a bit inconsistent. There's some weekends where it feels like everybody's ready to run through a brick wall and we can beat anybody, and there's weekends where not so much. So if we can just find that consistency, I mean, there's not much time left to the season, but if we can find that consistency, then, I think we're going to be a real force to be reckoned with.
How is it for you guys at the beginning of the season? Because we were actually talking about that off air, and it was kind of weird for you guys because last year you made it to the final. You had an amazing year, and you were a dominant team in the QMJHL. No, not only in the QMJHL, in the CHL. You made it to the final against Drummondville with a really, really young team. So how was the approach this year, knowing that you still had kind of a young team and but maybe a good team? How was the mood at the beginning of the year for you guys?
I think our mood was that we wanted revenge. We have a lot of players that were there last year. I mean, a lot that left as well, but a good few that were there, and we want to be back in that position, and we want to do better and win this time. It's always sour to get swept, especially when it comes to the finals, and you think you can give so much more, and you just you come up short. So this mindset, our mindset this year was that we just wanted to dominate again and just have the best performances we could.
Yeah, that makes sense. And looking at the years, you're talking about consistency. How do you see the end of the season? I mean, there's only a week left to the season, couple games for you guys. How do you see the last 2-3 games of the season?
We're playing against Chicoutimi 2 times this week. Chicoutimi is our big rivals. They're the closest team to us, and we play them 10-11 times per season. They're a very good team, so it's going to be some playoff games, and it's going to get us ready for the playoffs and to the opponent that we have ahead of us.
And looking at the playoff, we're going to talk about the playoff a little bit later because I think it's pretty interesting what's happening for you guys because you already know who you're going to play against. But I want to talk a little bit about you. You were invited to the Linka Gretzky earlier this year, and this is an event where you put all the best prospect at the beginning of the year for the next NHL draft. How is it to be invited to this event?
It was really an honor. It's all the best players from the CHL and from Canada, and I had never represented Quebec, Canada, in my career beforehand. And I got there, and I worked my butt off, and tried to earn a spot on the team. And when I got that spot, I took the opportunity. I accepted my role, and I just had a lot of fun.
And how is it for you to play that early in the season, some more important games?
Of course, it's experience. Tournaments like that, every game matters. Not that the season ones don't, but every game is super important. and it gives you a bit of that playoff mindset early into the season, and it'll make it so I'll be ready for what's coming soon.
Talking about being invited to a top event for top prospect, how do you live a draft year? That's a question I ask every player that is on the list every year, and the main common answer is, yeah, it's a year like the others, but it's not at the same time. So how did you live that year so far?
Of course, it's added pressure, but I try and not put too much pressure on myself. In my mind, doesn't matter if I don't get drafted, doesn't matter if, this and that. I'm just gonna work hard, have fun, and whatever happens, happens. And I hope a team takes a chance on me. And if I get an opportunity like that, I'll take it and I'll roll with it.
Seeing your name on the list, like, how does it feel seeing like NHL draft prospect and seeing your name on a list? Is it like overwhelming? Is it fun? Is it like some kind of a dream come true? I mean, get us through the feeling of getting on that list.
Yeah, so last year I started the year in midget AAA, and now I'm on the NHL draft list. That's insane to me, and it is a dream come true. I've been watching the NHL since I was young, looking up to those guys, and I might be practicing with the same guys I was looking up to all this time this summer, and that's really insane to me. But it's exciting more than anything as well.
Is it something you think during the games? Like, I know like most elite athletes are good at focusing on present, but is it like something you think about, like you give it a bad goal or you make a big save, and is it something you actually think during a game?
No, I think I try and think about it not often, and especially less during games. During games, you especially as a goalie, you just have to stay focused on the task at hand, and like you said, stay in the present moment. And if you let in a bad goal, it doesn't matter. It's how you get back up and how you respond with that big save, and that's what I try and focus about, and I think I'm good at doing.
Let's say we're trying to push you for scat and stuff. What would you say is your strongest asset as a goaltender? What would convince a team to draft you?
I think I have a couple things. I think my work ethic is really good. I work hard off ice during practices and of course in games as well. But I also think that my mental strength, which kind of leads to consistency and giving my team a chance to win, but also bouncing back after a bad goal, a bad game, and just staying focused for the 60 minutes.
Interesting. So if you're a scout, you're watching, then you're gonna have a composed goaltender who's working hard. So I guess it's all good stuff for an NHL team, and especially for a goaltender, I guess. Now looking at what's coming up for you guys and for you specifically, last year you said you started the year in midget AAA, and you went in those playoffs as a backup. Now you're going in a playoff as the starter and as one of the good goaltenders in that league. So how do you see the upcoming playoff, and how do you see the pressure that comes with everything you've lived the last couple months?
I think first of all, the fact that I got to live going to the finals in the Q last year as a backup is really an important tool for me. I got to live that whole experience and see what it takes to get that far. And I think it makes it so, I'm more mature this year, and I'm ready for these playoffs. And of course, when you're the guy heading into playoffs, it feels good. I like that my team is depending on me and that there is more pressure on me. I think I thrive under pressure, and I think it's just going to make it even more fun to play better and to dominate.
All right, let's get into the real stuff now. I'm going to put you on a spot a little bit. One thing, you're going to play Cape Breton for sure. Now, we don't know if you're going to start at home or you're going to start it in Cape. You played those guys last year in the semis. Now it's going to be a first round match. How do you see this? I don't know, blockbuster first round for you guys.
They're a tough opponent. They stocked up this year. They're going all in, and every time, both times we played against them, they gave us a fight, and it was very good games. And of course, the fact that we beat them in the semis last year, I think it created a bit of a rivalry. And I think they have a bunch of guys that were on that same team last year, and we have a bunch of guys that were on that same team last year as well. And because we sent them home, they're probably not too happy. So we gotta be on our toes and be ready for what's coming. And of course, just find a way and work hard, and I think we can beat them for sure.
Yeah, that was a series with so much emotions last year. I mean, we saw it from both teams, coaches talking in media and going at each other, and players going at each other. There was a lot of emotion. That was actually a nice series to watch. Do you expect the same level of emotion in a first round matchup?
I think especially that we have already created that rivalry between us, and how, again, like, it's the same coaches, same of course they're not best friends. And of course playoffs is, you have a lot of emotion, and you have to try and control it, but sometimes things slip out, and it happens. And I wouldn't doubt an emotional series, even if it's the first round this year as well.
I mean, if you're a hockey, I was about to say if you're a QMJHL fan, but if you're a hockey fan in general, you have to keep an eye on that matchup that's coming up. I mean, that's going to be absolutely fantastic. I'm pretty sure Louis Robitaille is going to call some things in the media. GF will might answer on his side too. We'll have spectacular save from you and from K Breton also, because their goaltender has been really good. Cities has been coming, so we might just have a goaltender series. We wouldn't even know. So much talent in both teams. I mean, that could actually be a final. That's crazy that we're gonna have this matchup in the first round and see a team go home. See one of you guys go home. Last year, I have to say, because I actually followed you a lot. I was in Baie-Comeau a lot last year during the playoff, and it was absolutely insane in the arena. The fans were going crazy. The sound was absolutely insane. Do you expect the same kind of involvement from your fans this year?
Oh, for sure. We have a small rink. I think it only fits 3,000, and our population isn't big, but the fans are so amazing, and they're so electric and so passionate that they make the games, especially during playoffs, just so fun to be at. Because well, not only there's traditions, like they throw a crab on the ice the first game of playoffs, which is that's like an NHL thing. I don't think any other CHL teams do traditions like that. But also just the horns and stuff, and there's
The
times
national
where
anthem, where people are going crazy during the national anthem also.
Yeah, I mean, you could send out somebody that can't sing at all, because you just can't hear them anyway. So that doesn't really matter. Uh, but yeah, and there's times where, like, the ref whistled, and we just kept playing for a good 15 seconds because nobody heard the whistle. And I think especially that we have such a good matchup in the first round, and such a good team in front of us, that I think they're going to pack the stands, and it's going to be absolutely insane. Again, I hope so.
I mean, I have no. I'm actually pretty sure it's going to be an insane series, and like I said, it's such a bummer that we're going to see one of the good teams go out like this. But I think to be honest, it's going to be a long series, and I think it's going to be an amazing series to watch. I don't usually put the comments from other fans, from fans from other team, or the comments from other teams on these YouTube live, but since we're pretty much in playoff mode, and the chirp is already started, I'll let you respond to that. Redemption incoming for Hockey Highland, little dog. So if you want to answer to this, fine. I mean, you can go. If you don't want to get into that game, that's all good too. But I mean,
You know,
gloves are
it
off, I guess.
took us five last year. We'll see how many it takes this year.
Oh my God! I'm gonna cut that clip, right? You know, I'm gonna cut that clip. So you better be able to live with this. Okay, though he likes you. Okay, that same fan goes. Beckman is a beast. Stock for this series. There you go. So I mean, at least if he thinks that you guys are going to be B, he still thinks that you're a good goaltender. So that's good. All love from a Q fan. I mean, that's why we do it, guys. So you can chat with our players, and that's absolutely awesome. That's great. That's great. I don't usually do that kind of stuff, but in the playoff last year, we did that kind of stuff too. So I'm happy you could have an answer for that, fan. And I mean, if you don't think you're gonna win, you just don't gonna get on the ice, right? So your answer made a lot of sense. Before we go on other stuff on playoff, I want to come back a little bit on you being one of the top prospect. And there's a moment that I had a chance to actually shot with you guys, and I'm gonna put it right here on my computer if I can find it. There you go. So you had a chance to chat with Samuel Montembeault at the top prospect presentation at the Bell Center. You can rewatch this clip on our YouTube channel if you want to. But talk to me about this moment, having the chance to chat with another netminder. You look like you
Sorry, your mic's cutting out a bit.
Do you hear me
Sorry
well
about
now?
that. Oh yeah, I hear you. Sorry.
So I was just wondering, talk to me about that moment with Samuel Montembeault.
You know, it was amazing. You know, he's a super good guy. He had no problem with having a conversation with me. You know, I had a couple questions about his gear. Of course, I want to be in his position as a starting goalie in NHL. So just getting to talk to somebody already that has put in the work and that's already there is just really fun. And you know, I hope I'll get to talk to him more another time and more NHL teams.
Yeah, it looks like two hockey nerd talking together, to be honest. Like, you were talking about stuff, and I would never think about those stuff. And you actually noticed something on his grid, and he said, "Did you like switch your grid or something?" And he was like, "Yeah, I did." And I was like, "I would never have picked that." But I guess you guys see things I don't. All right.
Well, he recently made a new helmet, kind of with the same guy that made Carey Price's Terminator helmet back in the day, and he painted his grid, and I noticed that it wasn't painted anymore. So I was like, you know, what happened? Did you not like it? And apparently, you know, got a couple dingers right to the face in the game and had to switch it out. And they couldn't send it back because it was going to take too much time. So, you know, it was interesting for sure. And I haven't gotten shots powerful enough to put dents in my helmet yet, but we'll see.
Do you wish for one shot like this, or I guess you don't? I don't know.
No, I'm good. I'd rather not.
Yeah, I guess you want to stop the puck. So if you have to do it, you'll do
That's
it.
True. That's true. Oh, I'm not afraid to use my helmet, but you know, as long as it doesn't cave in enough to hit my face, then
especially if like if it comes in a warm up or something, like someone slap a higher puck and gets it into your face, you might not like that as a if it comes from a teammate in the warm up or something.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I think you shouldn't do that as a player usually, but if it's an accident and you say sorry and stuff like that, I don't care. You know, it doesn't hurt that much as long as it gets you in a normal spot and not in an awkward spot. But you know, it's part of the game. You're a goaltender, so it's fine. Yeah.
You'll do whatever you have to do to stop the puck. I'm pretty sure that.
Yeah, of course.
Couple things I want to talk about still about this event. I mean, how is it to be at the Bow Center on the Jumbotron and having the crowd cheering for you in the first period? I think it was the first TV timeout. Like, is it something unreal? I mean, I've seen you guys, and it means like you're one of the or top prospect, and you have like all the Bow Center crowd cheering for you. How is it?
Yeah, it's surreal. I don't know how many people were there. I think probably over 20,000,
Mhm.
and they're all hockey fans, and this might be the first time they're seeing me, or maybe not, but just getting cheered on by a crowd that big, and it's just amazing. And I hope it'll happen in the future um, because this time I'll be on the ice, and it's kind of a sneak peek into that. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I wish you'll be on the ice sometime. That'd be awesome for you. Did Montembeault get the first star that night? Was it, or did he get a star? I'm not even sure.
I'm pretty sure. Well, he definitely got a star. I'm pretty sure he got the first star, but he might not have. I remember he got a shutout. Of course, us players, we said we gave him some luck, and that we should come back another another game too. But um, yeah, he played an amazing game, and I got to watch it from the press box above. And it, of course, when you're in the press box, it's the best. People say it's the best spot, and I agree. You can just see the whole play, and the game's easy from up there, and it almost looks slow-mo. And to analyze the goalies, it's the same thing, and it feels almost slow-mo, and it's really cool.
Talking about analyzing the game and watching the game, that's a question I ask pretty much every player. It fascinates me in some ways. But are you able to watch a game just as a fan? Or are you always like in analyze mode and you're gonna watch a style of play? Can you just sit down, relax, and watch the game as a fan? Or are you always in goalie mode in your head?
I think it's hard. I like to, of course, I wanna relax and watch the game sometimes, but there's still that hockey guy inside of me that I'm looking at this. He should have done that, or um, I would have done this or stuff like that, and analyzing things for, oh, that the goalie did that. That's cool, or like I should add that to my repertoire of tools and stuff like that. So I think I'm pretty much always analyzing, but it's not always 100% analyzing. I can still relax and eat some food while I'm watching the game or whatever as well.
All right, that's a complete answer. We don't have much time yet, guys. So if you have question for Lucas, I mean that's pretty much last call. I'm not even gonna go to all of my question that I've noted before. There's a couple of things I want to talk about with you. So, like I said, we had the chance to chat a little bit together at the Top Prospect event at the Bell Center, and there's a couple of things I didn't know about you. And first thing is your parents have played elite sports, but maybe not a popular sports, or maybe it's becoming more and more popular actually, but not a sports that a lot of people play. Can you give us a little hint about that?
Yeah, both my parents actually played pro ultimate frisbee, and especially like you said, now it's getting a bit more popular and
Mhm.
it's gaining a bit more traction. But back then, not a lot of people knew about it. And in fact, my dad was actually one of the people involved in the rules committee, and wrote a lot of rules of ultimate frisbee. And also, he got elected. He was one of the first people elected into the Frisbee Hall of Fame. Um, and that's actually my parents also met with frisbee, so I have some frisbee genes in me. Both my parents love frisbee. They love a lot of sports, but especially frisbee. And um, my dad was still goes and refs and coaches as well, almost every week. And um, I never really caught on to that gene. I guess I have some fun throwing the frisbee around, but never really got into actually playing the game.
Okay, so that was my next question. Did you actually play it or try it? Because I guess if you have the frisbee gene, you'd be good at it. Plus you have good eye coordination as a goaltender for. So I guess it would make you uh, um, like a good player right at the start, right?
I think I was pretty much born a natural. I'm pretty good. I mean, I wouldn't say I'm perfect. My parents are still a lot better than me, but
They are
I
still
think,
today. Like even if like you're a
oh,
elite
100%.
athlete, they're still better than you are.
Yeah, no,
Wow.
they could launch the frisbee to like from one side of the football court to the other, and it'll be perfectly in your hands. Like they're really good. Um, but of course, the running, jumping part, I think I'm good at. The throwing part, still some work to do, but yeah, I've played a few times, but it was mostly just for fun and throwing it around, honestly. Yeah.
Another thing I didn't know about you, and that's an uncommon. Well, I didn't say uncommon feature that much, but like not a lot of player will talk about that. But you have a big passion for fashion. So to what extent, and like, are you gonna like look at runways? Do you look at designers and stuff? Like, do you like the art aspect of it? Like, are you just loving clothes and stuff? Like, give us like the definition of how you live your passion around fashion.
I think there's a lot of ways. One of the things I have the most fun with is going to thrift stores in Montreal, and picking out clothes from brands that I would have never found beforehand, without the thrift store. And I also got a sewing machine. I'm gonna try and design some clothes, and
Yeah.
or alter some clothes that I have previously bought to better express what I want it to. But of course, I love looking at runways and looking into the new trends, um, and things that would interest me, and to get inspiration into my own fashion.
This will might surprise you about me because you don't know me that much, but I actually know a pretty good fashion designer here in Montreal who is designing mostly sports clothes for figure skating, but like the best in the world, and ballroom dancing also. So maybe I could get you in touch with him. He's actually really a nice guy, and he's actually really good. So and involved in sports too. So you might have a lot of things in common. Maybe I'll put you two. In contact. That'd be awesome. Last thing I have to ask, like, will you comment on how your teammates get dressed and chirp them about how they dress or not dress?
I think they, if I chirp them, it's because they already chirped me. You
Okay.
know, I dress differently from them, of course, and um, when you're the on one out, of course, everybody's gonna say something, and it's all playful, of course. But if they say something, I'll flip it back around at them and chirp them. But of course, because my style is so unique, it's easier to chirp me on my style than theirs.
How would you rate my unique style, like the cap and hoodie and stuff like that? Would you give me a 10 out of 10?
Oh yeah, for sure, 10 out of 10.
You're
Yeah,
so sugarcoating me right now.
it's a hockey style.
Oh,
That's how.
that's a good
Yeah,
answer.
yeah,
Actually, that's a
that's a hockey style.
hockey style, relaxed hockey style, like post practice.
Exactly. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay. Lucas, you've been absolutely amazing. That was such a great interview to do. Didn't ask half of my questions, and that's usually a really good sign. You're actually pretty good at this kind of stuff. If you're not playing hockey pro, which you'll probably will, if you're not doing in fashion, and if you're not doing in if you're not playing pro and ultimate frisbee, I mean, I think you could do media, man. That was absolutely fantastic. That was really good.
Thank you. Yeah, it was fun.
And you know what? It's not over because you'll have to do the French interview in the next couple of minutes. So see you on the other side, my friend.
Perfect. See you.